aircraft activity during that time coming in? I mean, I know most of them pull horse hauls.
I know that Glenn said that Sunday was pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of them are just pulling,
I was out here on
trailers.
Sunday and the ramp was full,
That's
Great.
good.
so, yeah, it's been.
Yeah,
Really.
good.
Yeah, there's been a lot. I've been on the weekends, it seems like our ramp's pretty full with some private jets, and I think our Cessna Citation was sitting out here last weekend.
That's great,
So-
yes. Glenn, I always ask him, so anything exciting, and I'm always looking for numbers. Item 6, community outreach. Guthrie Edmond Aviation Association is gearing up for the Community Day and Fly-In on September 24th, 2016. We are looking for sponsors. If you know of someone that might be interested in sponsoring the event, please let me know. I'd be happy to contact them, and I've just made up this little flyer and then put down at the bottom a business size ad would be $100, half page $200, and a full page $300.
Is this anything like an open house? Or
It is.
Or we have an open house separately, or?
This is similar. It just depends on your interpretation of open house. A lot of, like the airport I came from, we used to call it an open house. So yeah, it's
That's what
open
we
to,
did, okay.
yeah, and community
How-
day, fly-in.
How will it be advertised that way in the papers, or will it be community day?
Yes. Yes, well, what we normally do, and correct me, Bob, if you will, if you need, we just call it a community day, fly-in community day. So, anybody who wants to fly in, all the surrounding communities, Edmond, Guthrie. We also notify schools. In fact, I'm gonna have something to the schools here in Guthrie. I've already contacted them. I just have to, then they approve it, and it'll go out to the kids. So, and then we have Young Eagles flight program, so
Okay.
that gets announced. Then the OPA, Oklahoma Pilots Association, they put it out there. I put it out on the Oklahoma Airport Operators Association, also their website. So any and all websites that I can think of, I put it out there.
Just as a thought, I've been to several open houses, and you'd have to run down the folks that did it, but they had, this is for little kids, for families to come out, they had aircraft with wingspans about like this, and they had marked like on the ramp area where the kids could take these things. And I'm telling you, boy, the attendance that they had, and of course, you don't always want a bunch of little kids, out and run around the airplanes, but it was really interesting, and the local news media picked it up, and there were pictures all over the paper about how these little kids were taken to aviation, and it's stimulating the thought is what it's doing.
Yes.
And listening on
So-
television the other day, their commentator said that, in 10 years, there's gonna be no pilots to fly the airplanes, the commercial pilots. So, it's just something to start thinking about, and it might
I
be.
agree.
It might be able to pursue it and see what.
And what we added last year is we invited Sooner Flight Academy, and what that is it is a program that's put on at the Max Westheimer Airport every summer. They have I think it's 2 months, and they go from ages 8 up to 18. And so we invited them here last year. They had at least, I think it was 75, 80 kids come through their little booth, and they were teaching them the science and math through the technology of aviation. So they'd ask them questions. So it was really kind of neat, and they'd build their little thing like I think it was a little rocket, a paper rocket. So they'd learn some of the concepts there. But that's along the same lines, and we all agree, the committee I know has all agreed that, yeah, the children are the ones that run back to their parents and say, guess what we saw at the airport, so.
Yeah, and I might add, John, they're gonna have a meeting after this meeting.
Yes.
To go over those very issues. So,
Yeah, you're welcome to
love for you
stay
to stay
and
and have your
attend.
input.
Absolutely. Okay. That's it for me, right, at least that.
You wanna jump back to item B real quick, since that's maybe an action item?
You didn't mention anything about breakfast or lunch? That, it's maybe too early, but
for.
Food for this event?
That it will be food trucks. Yeah, I've already contacted 2 food trucks, and we might have a third one that wouldn't be competition for either food truck. The idea is to have a different variety. And Blue Donkey Cafe was one of them, and the other one is Rolled Up. Then I was thinking about Kona Ice, because it's icy, and that might be a big hit. So those 2 of them are contacted, they're confirmed, yes. They're already cleared with the city of Guthrie, and all they need is a 110-volt outlet if possible. So yeah, that will be the food this year.
Can't have a party without food and drink.
Yeah, that's right. So that'll be fun. But we'll talk more on that. So stay for the meeting, okay?
Are you gonna jump back to item B, or do you want to take it?
Well, yeah, just for action item.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm through with this unless anybody has any comments on the financials anymore. What I try to do with my airport manager report is, as I spend money on different things, I'm going through and adding that in my airport manager report. And then if you have questions on this that you see prior to or even after, you guys contact me, and I'd be happy to tell you. I write down everything, detailed, so I know what I've spent and where it went out. Pretty straightforward, so anytime.
Okay, so moving on to our action items tonight. Action item number 4 is discussion and consideration and recommendation that Guthrie and Edmond City Councils each approve funding for our short-term capital improvements project. As you know, this has been a little bit of a pet project for us as we started on to start hammering out some of the items that I consider to be the smalls. I know that both city managers met, Larry and Bruce took some time out of their days to convene and kind of go over our list that we put together and allocated the items that they'd like to see hit first, which we have a copy of that list if you want it. We can do it after the
And it has been handed out to everybody in a previous airport board packet, so if anybody needs to look at that, or if they want the most recent, we've got that.
The exciting part to this whole conversation is that there's been a movement to move and start doing some of these things and purchasing some of these things. So what I'm asking us for tonight is an approval to take this before both of their councils for their final approval, and then we can actually start buying some things and pushing the airport forward. So with that being said, I'd entertain a motion for the approval of this item for the amount of $66,810.
I'd like to point out one thing too. We're in order to get these things moving quicker, like I think I sent you, we're willing to front the money, basically. That's what Bruce and I talked. City of Edmond would cover all of that. We'll work out a repayment plan, maybe just taken out of our monthly, whatever we would get in terms of the bill from the airport. But if these are things we need to do, to us, it makes sense. Let's go ahead and do them and not wait to the start of the next fiscal year. So I've talked to the mayor about it. In fact, I think we're going to try to have it on our council agenda for next Monday night.
Oh, absolutely.
And so what we would do is be front that, and then ultimately it'll be paid like everything is, but it allows us to get started and move quicker.
So before either one of the city councils formally considers this, a formal recommendation for approval from the airport board is required.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
That's
So I'd
before-
make that motion at this time.
I'll second that.
I can't make my own motion. I entertain a motion, I'll take your first.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay,
Take the first.
doesn't matter,
Roger's got it.
however you want to
Carrie's got
record it.
second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And a good eye at that, thank you.
What's that? Well, it just makes sense not to wait.
No, I agree.
We're starting to build some momentum. Let's,
Right.
you know, and these are some things that I think start to send a really positive message back.
Well, with that passing on a unanimous vote, thank goodness, entertain some board member comments. Do you have anything tonight, Kurt?
Well, that was a good note right there, so I'm glad we ended on that. That was pretty simple, so I'm glad that we're gonna get that implemented and started, so. So,
I want to make a positive comment about the idea of always keeping an active dream list, brainstorming list as to what we see as we fly around, as we travel, that we might bring home and start here. put it on the list, even if it's not number one in our mind. Maybe if it's number 10, somebody else says, that's a great idea, let's move it up. Or my usual idea is move down a little bit. But we're all getting around, we all see stuff that might have some value here. So I'm glad. I think we should always keep thinking in terms of a list, well, what we could do here that would make it a little bit better. By the way, where are we on a windsock by the road?
I have
That
that
was
on the
fun.
list. That's a neat idea. I love that idea. So it's, yeah.
It's still on, there's still flame under the pot on that one.
Yeah, and like you said,
Who's
what
the
we'll.
oil company? Who supplies the fuel out here? Is it Phillips or
Yes,
Shell?
yes, it's Phillips.
Well, Phillips usually will provide windsocks at no charge. It would be up to us to, get it put up, but perhaps you could
Right.
get hold of the.
Even if
Phillips
we're using it as
representative.
an advertising sign on the road?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tell them
and,
we'll stitch a Phillips 66.
and that's a neat
Up
idea.
until a year
What
ago,
we
I had one
just-
in my closet. I wish I still had it. You could have it.
Yeah, we just have to gather all those ideas and put them together and see what's gonna pass along with what the city's trying to do for their future too, as far as
That's a great
enhancing the
idea.
airport and other areas. But yeah, that's a neat thing. And speaking of windsock, just real quick, yesterday, day before, there's a segmented circle that goes around the windsock, and it goes orange, white, all the way around 24 blocks. They're probably about that wide and that long or longer. They're freshly painted.
All right.
So whoever goes flying again, please let us know, take a picture if you will. The brand new windsock will be up tomorrow, and Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission always provides us a free windsock. One every year, might be able to squeeze another one out of them. But anyway, really neat, thought it was fun.
What's the speed on them? What is it?
I think it's a
40, 50?
20,
20?
I think, yeah, I think that one is. I'd have to double check that again. Yeah.
Anything else, John?
Not a thing.
Well, I'll finish up. I, once again, just want to thank everybody's commitment to the board, but as well as both cities moving together. It's an exciting time, and I'm excited to see us pushing forward. I wish we could have done it a month ago, but I know that we all have our pieces of the puzzle to fill, but I think we're definitely, once again, we're on the right track. It's an exciting time. I think tying in with our fly-in day and just continuing to push these things forward, we're just going to continue to move us forward. So, thank you guys. Thank you for your commitment. Once again, I appreciate you taking time out of your evening. We all have places in lives, but this is important as well. So, thank you. With that,
Yeah,
I
keep
can.
thinking about the airport when you guys leave here.
Yeah, exactly.
I
think
thank
I'm-
you to the four of you so we could get it formally.
Yes,
Get
thank
a
you.
formal recommendation to.
And I can call for an adjournment, so I.